Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to lesson 4.1 of TextLearn.com's Intro to Java series. I am Kevin Olson and I will be guiding you through this lesson. We will be discussing how to repeat tasks using for loops. The for statement. One aspect of computers that makes them particularly attractive is their ability to repeat code over and over and over again without getting tired. It's great for performing computations, working with arrays, lists of data, and we'll get into all that stuff later. We can have a block of code repeat itself through the use of a for loop, and the syntax for creating a for loop is as follows. So, for initial variable, Boolean condition, update. Then we have an open curly brace and a closed curly brace, and the code that gets repeated goes between there, right in there where it says code to repeat. So our initial variable is the variable value that we start the loop at. For example, we could have an integer and set that value to 0, and then the Boolean condition is saying how long to run the loop for. So we could have our variable here, our integer, int I equals 0. Then our condition could be while I is less than 10. And then the update is how it updates this variable each time the loop runs. So we could have it increase the value of I by 1 every single time, and then it would run from 0 through 10. Okay, let's bring up Eclipse and I will show you how this all works. Delete my old code in there from my last example. Not using big decimal right now. Okay. Let's go with the simple example. We're going to create a for loop. So we put the for keyword in there. For integer I is equal to 0. I is less than 10. I plus plus. So we increment I by 1 each time. So that is our initial variable, our condition, and our incrementation or change. Then we can just do system out print line. Oops, system out print line I. So we'll just print out I to the screen. If we run that, we'll see that it prints out the numbers from 0 through 9. That's because it started at 0, it printed it out. It went to 1, it incremented by 1, printed out 1, incremented by 1, printed out 2, and so on. And then once it hits 9, it increments by 1 again, so I becomes 10. It knows that I is no longer less than 10, so it stops there at 9. It doesn't get to 10. If we wanted it to get to 10, we can do less than or equals to 10, and now it'll print out the numbers 0 through 10. We can also change the incrementation. So we could say I equals I plus 3 and run that. And now it'll print out the numbers 0, 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so that is the basics of how a for loop operates. It's pretty simple. I hope you understand that. Now the next thing I would like to discuss is loops within loops, and this is called nesting. So we have a nested for loop, so we can have for I equals 0, I is less than 10, and let's do I plus plus again. And now we'll put another for loop in here. So for integer x equals 0, x is less than 2, x plus plus. Alright, and now inside of this loop we can do system out print line, and we'll do I, and then we'll put a dash in there, and then we'll do x. Now let's run that and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, it printed out 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 3, 0, 3, 1, and all the way up to 10 it keeps doing that. So that is a loop within a loop. It did the first time it goes around, it says I is equal to 0, and then we keep that I equal to 0 it'll go through this loop twice and print out 0 and 1 while I is equal to 0. Then that loop ends, it goes to the next incrementation, so I is equal to 1, and then x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1, loops through again, I is equal to 2, x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, and so on. So that is how we can use loops within loops to kind of add a new layer to our program. And you'll see this a lot, especially with algorithms and things like that. There are many instances when we will want to create nested loops. Okay, let's take a look at the website. The review exercise for this lesson is to simply create a counting loop. So the instructions here: create a program that asks the user to define two numbers. The program should print out every integer value between these two numbers in a single line separated by commas. Here's the sample output. Please enter the first value. We entered the number 10, for example. Please enter second value. We enter the number 18, for example. And the program quite simply prints out 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it prints out the numbers from 10 to 18. So give that a shot. The solution, of course, is available right there on the website. If you have any problems, feel free to post on the forums or reply directly to this video. Thanks for watching.